With the permission of my father, yesterday we spoke about a halakha. What happens if your parents are off the derech? If chas v'shalom, for whatever reason, they're not going in the ways of Hashem. We concluded yesterday that a person has an obligation to serve his mother and father like he would do any other parent, even if they are going against Hashem. Today, the following halakha he brings down, Ulam kozeh shay כשההורים אינם מפריעים לבניהם שזכו להכיר את האמת ולשוב לצור מחצבם. Rabotai, all this that we said yesterday regarding that a person has an obligation to honor his mother and his father even though they are not going in the ways of Torah, that specifically if the parents are not bothering the children, since the children had the merit to be able to realize the truth and they came back to Hashem. If the parents do not interfere in their avodat Hashem, then we're going to tell you that that's when we're going to say they have an obligation to still honor their parents. The parents honor them for whatever the children are doing, and they're not interrupting. Or at the very least, they're indifferent. The bottom line is they're not making you problems. Aval, however, but if if your parents start, I don't want to say torturing you, but if your parents start being unfriendly with you, and they're bothered by the fact that you're becoming religious, and now they're causing problems, you can't do that, you can't do this, you're losing your mind, and they press them, Rabotai, Lahem beglal sinatam ledad. Rabotai, there are in the rule that they hate the religion, unfortunately. Harehem bechlal ha'apikoshim shebevadai she'en lechebadam. They're in the rule of being an apikorist, one who denies God. And for sure, one should not honor these kind of parents that interfere in a child's avodat Hashem. Umunam Hashem michavod, ve'im efshar adif shaben yafrid legramri. Rabotai, Hashem does not require a son to honor parents that are interfering in his life and not allowing him to serve Hashem. He says that if it's possible, the son should try to live in a different city altogether if he can from his parents away, so they do not interfere in his avodat Hashem. That was our first halakha. Halakha hey Rabotai brings down over here. What happens if chas v'shalom you have parents that they abandoned Yiddishkeit, abandoned Judaism, and they went to another religion altogether? The children are not obligated to honor them. Not when they're alive and not when the parents die. You have no obligation to honor parents that left the religion and they went to another religion. Nevertheless, nevertheless, you are not allowed to embarrass these type of parents. You're not allowed to curse these type of parents, and you're not allowed to hit them. So we see over here, guys, that all these things, I'll be honest with you, there's so many halachot, as you guys can see. When you're dealing with these things, you have to be very smart. You don't want to be the cause to why they're hating Hashem, you understand? You want to try to make as much as peace as possible. Speak to your local rabbi that really knows the situation. Let him try to see if he can help you out. Because remember, a lot of times why people don't chas v'shalom like to go in the ways of Hashem, a lot of times, Rabotai, is because of ignorance, because they don't know, they're not educated. But unfortunately, many more times, is because the way we, the Jewish people, behave. So when we behave not proper, they look at us and they say, if this is the way of Hashem, why should we go in that way? So that's what Rabotai, we have to be very, very careful when we're dealing with our parents to give them the utmost honor. And believe me, if you do it, many times we've seen parents come back even stronger and better and bigger because of the merit of the children. We are continuing the Sefer Maseh Markava by Harav HaGaon, Meir, Eliyahu Shlita. Up to now, Brother John, we've been speaking about two types of din. The first one was Rosh Hashanah, a person is going to get judged. The second one is after a person dies, he's going to get judged. Guys, remember, there's 4 judgments a person goes through. Today we're going to speak about the third judgment that a person is going to go through. Emil John, do you know what the scary part is? That we sit so comfortable in this world, we take this world as a picnic. We have all the excuses in the world, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to read it for you right now over here. When we come up there, Rabotai, you will be in shock. Like shock. Like, where was I this whole time? Listen to what he says over here. Yom Adin Latid Lavo. The day of judgment in the future, Rabotai. When is this? Listen to this. המשפט השלישי הוא ביום הדין הגדול והנורא לעתיד לבוא. The judgment, the third judgment, on that great, awesome day in the future. בו יעמדו לפניו יתברך למשפט כל יוצרי עולם מהאדם הראשון ועד האדם האחרון. רבותיי, in the end of days, on that fateful day, Rabotai, in the future, after the whole world already comes to an end, Hashem is going to bring everybody into calculation once again. From when, Emil? From Adam Harishon until the last guy that was standing over here on this earth. Everybody's going to come before Hashem. This is not like Rosh Hashanah and after a person dies. Why? Katavnu le'el, because we wrote above, Ki b'Rosh Hashanah hu nidon al hashana ha'cholefet. On Rosh Hashanah, a person is judged on the year which passed. Ve'achar hamita, and after a person dies, nidon al kol chayav. After a person dies, he leaves this world, he's judged on his whole life. Ume'ata, but listen to this, but from now, b'mishpat b'yom hagadol, but in the judgment on the great day, which is going to be in the future, what is a person going to be judged? If you already judged Hashem, what are you going to judge us for more? Here we go. Hu nidon al kol hapirot shenasu al yado be'olam gam acharei motom. He's going to be judged on all the fruits that he did in this world, also after his death. We'll see what this means. Oh, he says, Kigon, for example, im yishir beis hamedrash, if you left a beit study hall, v'yeshiva or yeshiva, or sifrei kodesh, or books, holy books that he wrote, etc. And they continue to give him many, many more merits, many years even after he died. Emil John, we see over here something fascinating. A person can come into this world, is being paid dividends even after he dies. If you've been trying to go in the ways of Hashem, but not only you going in the ways of Hashem, but because of you, other people were inspired to go in the ways of Hashem, and they say, wow, he doesn't speak in shul, I'm not going to speak in shul. He comes to learn Torah, I'm going to come to learn Torah. He says berachot, I'm going to say berachot. He dressed like a human being, I'm going to dress like a human being. He doesn't curse, I'm not going to curse. Rabotai, do you understand what this means? He's going to do it. People are going to follow him. You have a new campaign of people, you're being paid dividends for something you never even knew that even happened. This is the Mishnah Berurah brings down in Chalik Aleph, Rabotai. A person's actions can have a very, very big ripple effect. This is for the good. What about the other way around, Rabotai? Umi'idach, Rabotai, on the other side. He's giving over you what happens if a person left a factory of people that desecrate Shabbat in public. הרי שמוכרח להיענש גם על כל החובות שהתעצפו לו גם אחר מותו, הגם שלא היה שותף לעבירה באופן ישיר. Rabotai, if a person chas v'shalom, let's say in this world, he gives an example. He had a business that was working on Shabbat, and he had over 10,000 workers, or 1,000 workers, doesn't matter. Even after he dies, all the money that they collect, even though he has no direct, nothing, he's done, he's gone, he's in the next world. All the Michalel Shabbat, all the desecration that the people are doing, this is on that fateful day, he's going to be judged on everything, not only what he did, what other people are doing because of his decisions. This is, Rabotai, why it's very, very dangerous when it comes to Avodat Hashem. You know, I'll put it to you like this, somebody told me something fascinating. People think this world is a picnic. You're going to start to realize that, Rabotai, this world ain't no picnic, but rather it's a liability. If you don't do the way things are supposed to be done, you came into this world with you're gonna come out with a minus instead of chas v'sholom a plus. Since, however, since he's the one who initiated and he opened this kind of store, לכן הוא ייתן את הדין גם על הפירות הבאושים ותלמידיו המקולקלים שהשאיר אחריו ולמדו ממצב הרעים. Rabotai, the fact that he was the first one to begin everything, this business, he's going to have to give the judgment on all the fruits, on all the bad fruits which came out, and all his students that went in the wrong direction, Rabotai, that he left after him because of his bad deeds. Rabotai, this is sickening. This is very sickening. Do you know why, Artur John? You have a person who is the CEO of a shul. You thought I was going to say business, right? Right? Board members, Rabotai. Presidents of the shul. You see today, guys, the way that they do their parties, the way they invite people for pool parties, and they have mixed swimming. And people see this and they say, 1 second, but isn't he religious? He ain't religious, Rabotai. He just has a kippah on to look religious because they want to make money. It's not a shul, Rabotai. It's a business by them. They don't care for the people. They care for their money, you understand? If they would have cared for the people, they wouldn't be acting the way they're acting. So what happens? What did this guy do? What did he do? A guy, he's the top head. Everybody in the world knows him. Everybody respects him. Rabbis come to his wedding. I'm Neil John. The woman on the stage dancing, woman in the hall naked. It's Gehenna, Rabotai. But people, 600-700 people come, Artur, and they go, wow, this is allowed. The rabbis, nobody's saying anything. Good. Everybody that starts learning from him, he could come back tomorrow. He can die. He can continue living his life. After this guy dies, all the dividends that people continue to do these kind of parties, all the dividends are going to go on his head. So he thought he's free from everything. Rabotai, you're not free from nothing. That is just the beginning. If he doesn't start doing teshuvah and start coming out and saying openly, I was wrong, I messed up, please don't do this, he has to go back and he has to teach Rabotai, because he was machtiat Rabim. He made the masses sin, and has to be mizakeh. Now he has to give the merit to the Rabbim. This is why, Rabotai, today it is so dangerous. We don't understand how dangerous it is today. I'm going to give you a small example. I'm going to have to be a little bit blunt. Guys, somebody came up to me, for example, Chasur Shalom. He did not know what does it mean to spill semen in vain. He did not know what does it mean pornography. He never knew of these things. Innocent Jewish boy, Rabotai. Why he didn't know? Because he didn't have these things in his house. Beseder. One guy came, one of his friends, and that's how it always is. You have one bad friend, the rest is history. He came, he taught him. He said, listen, you see this, you can look over here, you can look over there. I don't want to tell you about that. One thing led to another. He says, you go to the shower, you do X, Y, and Z, you'll feel great. The guy went ahead and he did it, Artur. Whatever it was. Then this boy, the good boy that now is becoming bad, he went and he taught it to his friend. And he taught it to his friend, and it's a ripple effect that there's no end. Rabotai, the first guy that taught it, even if he does teshuvah, Rabotai, if he doesn't go back and bring every one of them back, in the next world, his place is going to be very bad. Why? Because right now, because of you, people are learning to do bad. Do not think that we come to this world and we could be where we want, we could do what we want, we could eat where we want. Rabotai, our actions are being looked through every single person. The way we speak, the way we walk, the way we behave, the way we dress. If because of you, the Gemara says, Rabotai, if a Talmud Chacham, Chas v'Shalom, has a stain on the shirt, Chas v'Shalom lo aleinu, Rabotai, the Gemara says, Chayav mitai gets a death penalty. Rashi, what's the death penalty for what? So besides he got a stain on his shirt. Why death penalty, Mil? Do you know why? For one simple reason. Because of you, people are going to come to hate Hashem. Rabotai, we need to be very, very careful with our actions. And this is what he's trying to tell us over here. Rabotai, this is the Yom Adin HaGadol. This is what it says in Yirmiyah, in Perek Lamed Bet Pasuk Yutet. Letet la'ish kedarkav v'kipri ma'alalav. To repay each person according to their own, with the proper fruits of their deeds. What does it mean, kedarkav? To pay them like their ways, Rabotai? Ha'inu hamishpat achar hamita. That's the judgment after death. She'az nidon al kol chayav kenichtav la'el. Then he's going to be judged on his whole life, like we saw before. After a person dies, But what does it mean? V'kiprima alalav. They're gonna pay him back with the proper fruits of their deeds. What does that mean? Hainu, this is hamishpat beyom hagadol, beyom hadin hagadol, she'az nidon gam al hapirot, she'asu mepalav afilu shanim rabot acher hisalku min haolam. V'kiprima alalav means over here on that faithful day, on the big judgment day, Rabotai, when a person is not going to be judged on what he did during the lifetime, but now he's going to start being judged on the fruits that came out from his deeds. So that's what, Rabotai, when you come to shul and you begin opening a talking club in a corner or in the middle, or you begin thinking that it's allowed, and people learn out from you, when they continue, Miljon, I don't care what you do, you could give $5 billion, there's no bribery, Bro Hashem. If you don't do teshuvah and you don't stop the garbage, Rabotai, in the end, everything, not you're not here, you're not here. They, and it doesn't end, Rabotai, until the last person doesn't die, until the last person doesn't stop. All the averos go on your head. All the averos go on your head. Same concept if you give mitzvot, you help people learn Torah. I'll give you one small example. A person has to be learning Torah at night, correct? I don't know, 7 to 8, for example. His friend calls him, he says, listen, let's go to shish kebab. Let's go to a restaurant. You just took 10 guys that were able to learn Torah. You will have to give an account for all of the bittul Torah. You need this, you need it. We don't need Rabotai. This world, Rabotai, we came down to produce, and not we want to come out of this world after 120 with a plus, and not chas v'shalom with a minus. V'nimta, the Rabbi Kaguzan, he says, כי מטרת יום הדין הגדול והנורא בסוף הימים לעשות כאין ספרת מלאי. רבותיי, לכל הזכויות והחובות שנעשו תחת השמיים אחרי פטירת כל בני האדם. The last day, רבותיי, this great judgment day, do you know what it's like? It's like stock taking on all the merits, on all the not merits that he didn't have, Rabotai, that he did even after his death. So remember, guys, when you want to come, Borijon, when you have an opportunity to be at home or in a restaurant and you decide to open up a phone and you decide to look, I don't know at what, and somebody looks over there and now he sees what you're doing and he says, oh, it's okay to watch movies. Or you're on a plane, oh, it's okay to do this. Or it's okay. Up to now, they thought it was not allowed. But they look at you and they think you're religious for some reason just because you know how to say a few good words. Rabotai, from that day on, you should know whatever he does, it's one thing that you did, you have to give responsibility. You have to give accounting. But it's another thing in Miljon that you have to be responsible for another person. It's like a father and a mother that have to have responsibility on their children. We, Rabotai, as Jews, we have responsibility on other Jews to make sure that they do not go off the derech. And on the contrary, we want to try to bring them back to Hashem. This is why Rabotai, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Lutzato writes in Mesilat Yesharim, anyone, boy, listen carefully, anyone, do you know what's poison or not? You know what's poison? We know it's poison, right? Poison can kill. Anyone, Rabotai, that goes ahead and he wants to take you off of the derech of learning Torah, I don't care what it could be. He brings you to a movie theater. He brings you to a basketball game. He brings you to the restaurant when you have to learn Torah. Any one of these things that take a person from Avodat Hashem, these people are poison, you stay away from them. You don't come close to them. But anybody who brings you back closer to Hashem, you stick to them because they're bringing you for the next world. Everybody today is afraid, right? You hear a guy, he went ahead and he killed somebody, correct? I'm asking you a simple question. A guy went and he killed, you hear what goes on college, right? He shoots, 30 people died. Are you going to sit with this kind of guy in shul? Never. You go, Rasha, what do you do? How'd you kill people? We don't realize, Rabotai, he only killed them with the body. I'm not saying it's a lot, chas v'shalom. But how many of us are killing Jews, their soul, Rabotai? We're killing their souls with all this Instagram, TikTok, Schmick, all this garbage. And we're destroying them. And that's what the Gemara tells us. To kill somebody with the body is not as bad as killing somebody with the neshama. When you kill somebody with the neshama, he loses netzach nitachim. He loses the world to come. He loses eternity. At least when the body dies, he has an afterlife. But when you kill the neshama, Rabotai, he has nothing. This is, Rabotai, why we have to be very careful with our deeds and try to always be productive. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen. Rabbi Chanan ben Akash Omer Ratzah Baruch Hu. לזכות את ישראל לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צריך דיל תורה ודיר על ישראל.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
יעמד יברך יבוטה וימליך מלכותה ויצמח וקנה ויקרב ושכחה.
אמן.
וחי יכול ויום יכול ונדור בישראל. בהגרה ובזמן קריב יבוא אמן.
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולם היה יתברך. ישתבח ויתברך ומור בסיר לדעת. לא דבר שמת וקדושה בנכות. חטא שנרצת וחטא ונחמתה דחנר בעמר.
על ישראל והסבנת והתלמידון והכל תלמידון תזכי קורא תקדישתא די באתר אתם ודי בכל אתר ואתר יהלה נאומות ומות אדם תכלה ברחמה די תודה קורש לה ברחמה יש אשר רבים שמיה חיים וספה ישועה ונחמה ושזמה
Never. Amen.